of the people don't do much. They do 20% of the work. And you go to the 20% that's doing 80% of the work because they're the most busy and you know they'll get it done. So I've probably fallen into that category of the 20%, that 80% that don't do much. So please make me useful in some way and engage us in your service. And thank you so much, Radha Swami. We love you. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Jai Madhuri Radha and Neelamada Prabhu's ki Jai. So we have Asmita Prabhu come through now, Guru Dwaja after that, and the Devika Prabhu after that. Thank you. And then we'll switch back to Zoom again. The Zoom devotees are really waiting to come on too. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. Happy Vyasa Puja. And my humble obeisances to His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj and His Holiness Ashram Maharaj and all the assembled Vaishnavas. Maharaj, I wrote you a little offering that I would like to read, and I hope that you will accept it. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances unto your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you on the most auspicious occasion of your 70th Vyasa Puja. Although no amount of words are sufficient enough to fully glorify you and thank you, Maharaj, I'm always excited to seize the opportunity to celebrate you on this special day. The past couple of years since you visited our home and have passed by so quickly. I remember when you had simply asked me about the questions that I have. You allowed me to be vulnerable as you cleared away the doubts and fears in my heart, something that you still continue to do for me each day. I remember thinking that I had hardly met a personality like you before, someone who made me feel so heard and aligned in my Krishna consciousness. Ever since then, I never realized when you became the anchor holding together everything in my life, Maharaj. And at every moment, all I can do is feel constantly grateful for your presence. Thank you for transforming me entirely for the better and for sustaining my spiritual life. Sometimes it's difficult to find motivation, confidence, and courage, but thinking of you and your instructions makes everything simpler for me, allowing the chaos of my mind to rest. Thank you for your patience and compassion, Maharaj. Despite your exalted position, you make it easy for people like me to reach out to you. And you always listen so patiently. Even when I have plenty to say that sometimes makes little sense, you listen. And even when I have nothing to say, you listen and comfort me with your presence. Somehow it's like I never have to explain myself to you. You just know. You always know. Thank you for your care, encouragement, guidance, and thoughtfulness, Maharaj. Thank you for always looking out for me and for being there. I feel encouraged through your loving association during Japa Heaven, visits to Dallas, Tuesday classes, phone calls, and much more. You inspire my faith and my desire to serve. I am unqualified, Maharaj, but you guide me to engage all of my qualities in Krishna's service and encourage me to be the best version of myself. Thank you, Maharaj, for being so inspirational. Your humility and devotion are matchless, Maharaj. Day in and day out, you tirelessly work to serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada, especially by so deeply and wholeheartedly caring for the devotees. You're extremely down to earth, yet blissfully engaged in serving Guru and Krishna at the same time, and it is beautifully inspiring. You give me hope, Maharaj, hope that despite all the troubles and turmoils of the material world and the darkness that it seems to unfold, there's a bright light shining, ready to guide us, the light of Guru and Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for taking me under your shelter like a loving father and constantly guiding me on my Krishna conscious journey. I will never understand how I became fortunate enough to be one of the souls receiving your love and mercy. I feel humbled and grateful to be blessed with a spiritual master as kind and devoted as you. You have sown the seed of devotion in my heart, and I have complete faith in you. I'm nothing on my own, but everything becomes possible by your mercy. I pray that Krishna always allows me to have the intelligence to seek out your association whenever I can, and to only do that which is pleasing to Srila Prabhupada and you. My family and I are eternally grateful to you, Maharaj, for everything that you do for us, and we love you very, very much. My life would never be so whole, sweet, and complete without you, Maharaj. On this auspicious day, on every day, I pray to Krishna for your good health, so that we can celebrate many, many, many more Vyas Pujas with you. And while I know that there is no way to repay your causeless mercy, Maharaj, I pray that I can always follow your instructions, please you, and be constantly engaged in your service. Forever your humble servant, Asmita. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Smita.
Jai Smita Prabhu ki Jai. Guru Dhwaja Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to the Prabhupada. I'll try to slow down. You always tell me to slow down when I speak because I get so nervous. Okay.
You gotta eat them, eat them.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you. First of all, for initiating me. The reason why you gave me my name, just I'll always hold in my heart, just kind of blew my mind. And then the fact that you gave me part of your name just even more blows my mind because I'm so not deserving of it. And I'm going to do my best to live up to your name. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet. When I first took shelter of you, it was like a heart from my string was tied to a heart from your string. But now that I've been initiated, it's like that tie has been put in the knots. And that knot's not going to ever become loose. Hare Krishna.
Guru Dhwaja Prabhu ki Jai. Mother Devika Prabhu. Devika. Ah, there she is. Jai.
Well, let's just say
Just a second, my doctor wants me to wear my mask.
It's too late, Maharaj.
I had it on in the beginning, but then I took it back.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So happy to be here. I'm always so happy to see you. Every time I see you, I just feel pure joy, as so many other people here, other devotees here have described. And it's been a while since I've seen you, so I'm extra happy today. I was thinking about how recently it was Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance day, and I'm so glad to see Giriraj Maharaj here. He posted on his blog a really nice lecture he had given in LA about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in which he described the famous song, O He Vaishnava Thakura, and related that to personally experiencing little child Saraswati hankering for Krishna and Prabhupada giving her Krishna. And I was thinking so many things. I was thinking about how that relates to my family life and how I've learned how to be a good mother directly from you because of the way that you give all of us Krishna. And it's a very specific flavor of Krishna consciousness that's palatable, it's tangible, it's concrete, it's joyful, it's fun. And I feel like I'm so grateful for that, and I pray that I'm always chasing behind you, saying, please give me Krishna, because I don't want to receive Krishna from really anybody else but you. And then I think about all of the examples in which I've experienced that joy from you, and it varies. It's varied in so many different ways across all of the years that I've known you.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's joyful. It's, you know, the way I know you is entirely because of my parents. I was very privileged to have amazing association since I was a young child, beginning with you.
Yeah.
And I credit them for that entirely. I think they're watching. Reconnecting with you after a long gap. Being there when my father asked you for initiation. And you saying, I want the whole family. And that came from a place of, you feeling like we were already family and that this was all just a formality, an important one, but still a formality that, again, is just full of joy in the service of, devotees, Prabhupada, and Krishna. And I remember being pregnant the first time with Jeevan, and I hadn't told you yet. And you had come to Dallas, and you were in the darshan room, and I walked in, and you were in the middle of your lecture, and you completely lost concentration because you saw that I was pregnant, and I felt really bad because I was distracting you. But at the same time, it was just a very small gesture of how much you cared, that you were just overjoyed at that. I also remember, again, being pregnant with Jeevan, attending a luncheon with some other devotees, and I was really pregnant, and you were the senior most person there, and you were the only one who stood up and said, "Let me give you my chair, Devi, please have a seat." And I think that, I've read in lectures and heard on tapes, Prabhupada wanted to create gentlemen and ladies, and you are absolutely the epitome of that in so many ways that we're hearing over and over again. I also think about you coming to our house and engaging with my kids. One time that's just very clear in my mind is you're sitting on the couch and you're chucking a ball at my kids, and they're running around and throwing it back to you, and I'm like, "Maharaj, please stop throwing the ball in the house."
I broke the house rules.
But you have such, again, a unique way of engaging children in Krishna consciousness. And when my kids see you, I'm representing them. I know I'm standing here alone, but I'm representing my kids, I'm representing my husband and my parents and my brother, and we're just thrilled to have you in our life. Even to this day, if we pass a small pink house, Darshan says, "Is that Maharaj's house? It looks like, is he here?" So I know that they have a very strong connection with you. I also think about, as I've become older now, the way in which you teach me how to engage in devotional service, even when I'm at work amidst people who are just suffering immeasurably. And you've really guided me in the specific way on how to handle that and how to bring Krishna and how to add Krishna. And so I'm so appreciative of that. I'm appreciative of, you know that Thursdays are my worst day, and you still text me and you say, "Hey, it's Thursday. I hope you're doing okay. Everything will be okay. Krishna is perfect." I love how you constantly remind me that Krishna is perfect, because I forget. I'm in a position where I'm in, I think I'm in control and I'm making decisions, and I forget often that I'm not the doer, and I forget that this is all Krishna's design, and so you remind me of that constantly. So thank you so much for everything. When Neela Madhava was talking about the 20% and the 80%, I also feel like I should recognize my dear friend Lavanga, who I think is in the 20%, and is kind of the example of someone who is serving you with deep love and affection, and my connection with her is very much based on our relationship with you. So happy birthday. I hope that you have health and happiness and joy every single day, because you deserve it so much. I know this is going to wipe you out, so please take rest this evening.
Thank you, Mother Devika.
I think, Davika, I think when you were pregnant and you had your doctor's thing around your neck on the string with the medical MD on it, I gave you a sticker that says baby on board, like on the back of the car to put on your badge. I remember that.
I know we're running a little behind time, Maharaj, but we want to do something different that we have not done in any of the other Vyas pujas to make up a little on time. So I'm asking all the youth boys and girls to come up. They all want to just say something brief real quickly. They've all
Sure.
been wanting to talk. So I'll start off with Raja and then pass the mic real quick.
Yeah, line them up, line them up.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Happy Vyasa Puja.
Hey, wait a second. It should be boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. Shri. Eva.
I think one of your greatest contributions to the movement and to me are your summer trips and the bus tours you did. Maharaj, in the 1990s, started these bus tours with young boys aged 12 to 18, 30 boys on a bus driving around the US, going to Rath Yatras, going to festivals, going to waterfalls, and building these friendships together. And although I never got to go on one of your tours, I went on the tours that your students started with Kish and with
Yeah.
Dada. And those are just some of the best memories of my life. I made some friends on those tours that have lasted me to this day. And just the way that you've always encouraged that love and that friendship in ISKCON with people like Sri Rupa and Chaitan and Kat, but also with like my friends, like Abhay, like Dian, like Sham. You've really set this example of how friendship is non-judgmental, it's non-competitive, it's authentic, and it's loving, and it's encouraging. And I think Dallas, the youth we have, the community we have, is all built on the energy that you've given to Rupa and Kunda that have then, given that same energy to us. And I can see in my own life, whenever there were critical junctures and I had to make a choice, I wanted to choose Krishna consciousness because of the friendships that I had. And that comes from you, and I'm really
Very
grateful
well,
to you.
Raja.
Thank you.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Maharaj. I just wanted to say, I'm so grateful that we have your presence here in Dallas. I know, since I've been here since I was 2 now, so now the last 18 years, I've been blessed to have so many different influences like His Holiness Giriraj Swami, you, His Holiness Indaduna Swami, my Srila Gurudev, Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami, who's my dad's guru, and all these different people who've influenced me in my life and helped me get to who I am today. And over the years, we've always had your constant presence, and we've gone on weekend getaways, and for example, we just went on one very recently with the entire crew, and we were truly missing your presence this time because we've had you come from the previous times when we were much younger. And I can remember there's been a few pivotal points in my life that very much influenced some of the decisions I've made. And one of them was 2019 when you came to Dallas for TSI, and that was the very first one that I'd ever done. And I think it was me, the other Vrinda here, and Vrinda Priya, who's now in DC. And we were able to try to help organize some of the things in as far as Dallas stuff and getting to serve the other devotees and other youth. And I remember that was my first experience really getting to connect with you and hearing you speak and finally sitting in those classes and learning and connecting with so many other youth from across the US and making some of my best friends. And the way you spoke and the mannerism that you had and the connections that I've made since then, I can remember when I was trying to figure out then taking the next step and asking Mike Srila Gurudev for inspiration. I remember one of the things that really pivoted was during the pandemic, we had so much downtime where none of us were really connected and we didn't see each other. And one of the things I remember was I was FaceTiming Kripa every week. And we had called you and were spam texting you and asking you so many questions, and you made time to call with us and answer these questions, even if it was weird hours. And I really appreciate that because it helped me like take the next step and take initiation this past March. And I want to thank you so much for inspiring the youth and being such a huge influence in this temple. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you so much.
Harbol.
Hare Krishna.
So, like Vedasar Prabhu said, Maharaj is one of the coolest Maharajas. And I remember my first time I spent time with Maharaj it was a weekend getaway at a lake house.
Okay.
I think in 2016. And yeah, it was nice seeing like Maharaj engage in activities with all the youth and really help us develop our sadhana. We did japa, we did morning program. And Maharaj played games with us like Satkuti. And I remember Maharaj threw my shoes across the lawn once. That was
And they were in the doorway.
yeah, it was more than once. But thank you, Maharaj, for being an inspiration to the youth and really keeping in touch with everyone. And your presence in Dallas is the best thing here. So thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My name is Sunita, for those who don't know me. Happy birthday, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Happy Vyasa Puja. I just want to say you are such an inspiration to the youth and to me, and your dedication to service pushes me to push myself and do more service. So thank you for that. And I just want to say that you keep Krishna conscious so cool, and I think that's the reason why I am still here personally today. So thank you so much for everything. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Happy
Krishna.
birthday.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hey, Leon.
Personally, like, I think I've known you for quite some time. I remember since I was a 12-year-old young goofy boy. I first went on my summer trip in Alachua.
Yes.
And I remember the tradition of just getting shaved up, getting all the boys together, swimming in Keisha's pool and having prasadam, doing kirtan. And after that, like, Keisha would tell me all those crazy stories about like, his adventures with you, Dada, and everyone. And it was really inspiring. So I was like, Archie Swami, like, he's interesting, you know? So in my first year, we actually went from Alachua, and we went along like the East Coast and the West Coast. And like the memories that I made from my first summer trip, I still think about it every day. You know, like waking up with Raja and Rakta fighting, or us just chasing boys around, you know. It was memories that I think I'll cherish forever. And the memories that I've made with other ISKCON boys, even to now, like we talk every day, we catch up and we talk about Krishna conscious stuff. And recently, I went to Italy last month, and someone from Italy went on the bus tour like a couple of years ago. And I was talking to him, and he's like, yeah, ever since I went on the summer trip bus tour, Krishna conscious has been a big factor in my life. And right now, my friend, his name is Dhruva, and then he's going to a university in Italy. And he started a preaching program. And I was talking to him, and he's like, yeah, if I never went on the boys' summer trip, I don't know where I would be. So I think you have like affected and you have inspired so many youth, not only in North America, but all over the world to continue. And
Hello.
And because of your presence and your effect, almost all the youth in the world is very united now, especially in Dallas. And I feel like in the last couple of months, like our crew in Dallas, the youth especially, has really been united. We hang out, we do Sangha, we do Krishna conscious stuff, we do Kirtan. And I just want to thank you for putting everyone in better position. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. I just want to say happy birthday, happy Vyas Puja. I can only echo what everyone else has said in this room today. You've played such a pivotal role in all of the youth's lives, and you make sure that we can all stay connected to the Krishna consciousness movement. I see you every Saturday so often, just always encouraging our family, continuing us to do service. And I can only say that you've made such a large impact in my life and so many others that I've known. And I just can only thank you for that. So thank you, Maharaj. And
Thank
happy
you
birthday.
so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna.
Happy birthday. So one thing I wanted to point out is that the few times that I've had the opportunity to serve you, just like everybody has said, Maharaj is as cool as Maharaj. I think even every service opportunity we get for you is like cool. It's like, wow, that is the best thing I've ever done in my life. You know, here's one example I'll give you. So for TSI in preparation, we were doing a promotional video, and I came to the Houston Sannyasi quarters, and was filming the video with you, and you're such a perfectionist. Like you are like incredibly, everything you do has like is high quality. So I was filming the video, and I was like, okay, just let's give like a 30-second, 1-minute blurb about promoting TSI. And then, so you started talking and just said so many nice things. And then the video, I was like, okay, Heartfelt Maharaj, that's great. And you're like, no, I forgot to mention that I was even part of TSI. I didn't say my name. And I was like, oh my God, I'm the worst director in the history of. And we had to do 3 or 4 takes. And you told me afterwards, you told me afterwards, make sure you delete the videos. I'll be honest, I didn't. I will cherish those as great memories. Those are some of my fondest memories with you. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for every opportunity you've given me. And Haribol.
Very well. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, happy Vyasa Puja, happy birthday. I'm really grateful to have you in Dallas and to have your association almost every day of my life. And I mean, from the very beginning, since I was like 2 or 3, you've always just been there. You've always been making Krishna consciousness so fun, so entertaining, so including for me. And you've included me in everything that I could possibly think of. And I'm just really, really grateful for having you here with us. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Rasa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'd like to offer my obeisances to all the senior devotees here, Kiraj Maharaj, Rudraja Maharaj, B. Ashram Maharaj, Happy Vyasa Puja Maharaj. Something, I guess, going on with the theme of youth that we've been talking about. Sometimes when you're born in a family of youth, of devotees.
Family of youth. Yeah, you're all born in the family of the youth. That's right.
Of devotees, it's sometimes expected of you to already know or already be inclined to Krishna consciousness, and sometimes you have to hold this facade of, this is exactly what I want to do, this is the correct path. And even though we didn't maybe get necessarily a choice, but something that really stuck with me, you said it in TSI this year, was we've been born in a devotee family, but they still have to pick the path.
You still have to join the movement.
Still have to join the movement,
Yes.
exactly. So you're one of the devotees that have just been a light for all of the youth, and for all of us to actually, like a lot of people said, you meet us at our level rather than expecting us to be at some point. You come down to us and bring us up. So that's something I really love about you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Maharaj.
Shri. I know this one.
I know I was trying to avoid eye contact for like the longest time.
Yeah.
But now I'm
I saw
up
you
here.
avoiding me there, and I had to send a messenger over there.
Yeah, and I couldn't say no. But I just wanted to say thank you, Maharaj, for being a constant in my life. Many of us search for years for a person that can listen to us, someone that we can trust, someone that we have faith in, someone that doesn't judge us about our doubts or questions. And that person is you, Maharaj.
Yeah.
We've been in contact since I was 12, when I would email you if you could send me jokes or riddles so I could impress my friends. You've seen me grow from like an immature girl from 12 to like now almost 19. You've seen me through like all my phases of my life, through my hardships, through my troubles, through my successes. And you've never left, and that is something I'm very, very grateful for, and I treasure for the rest of my life. there are things that I've told you that I haven't even told my parents or my friends, like some things that I trust you the most with. And that's something that I feel that is like, I've been lucky to have that because so many people search many years for that type of relationship. And I'm so lucky to have that relationship with you, Maharaj. And I can come to you for anything. You're always there for me. I remember one time, you came a few hours and you had a program in Houston and you found out that I couldn't be there and you came to me because I had a debate tournament the next day, so I was preparing for that. And you came into my house and you were like, Shri, I miss you so much. And you hugged me and you were like, I'm gonna miss you at my program tonight. And I've held that memory for the longest time. And I'm so grateful to have this connection with you for the past 7 years. And you've actually known me since I was a baby, but we connected when I was 12. So thank you, Maharaj, for listening to everything.
Thank you, Shay.
Hare Krishna
wow.
Maharaj.
Hare
Happy
Krishna.
Vyasa Puja.
Thank you.
Along the same lines as everyone else here have spoken, I'm just incredibly grateful for the immense amount of time you have spent individually with me and with all of us as youth. Even from when we were much younger at TKG Academy, you'd be the fun Maharaj who would come in and give us riddles. I remember one time there was a contest you had with all the students to see who would be the closest to spelling your name correctly. I have to admit, I was never that great at spelling. And also, when I went through a very difficult time at the hospital, you were there for over 4 hours every single day, and I really appreciate that. And you were really the rock that helped me stay spiritual, stay grounded during that time in my life. And then also just all the time you spent with us over TSI, over the Sangha Initiative, over Camp Ignite, and the youth trips we have done.
Yeah.
It has just been incredible, and thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you, thank you. Ava.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Happy
Kripa,
70th
Hare Krishna.
Vyasa Puja. Please accept my humble obeisances. I just wanted to go back on the first time that I first met Maharaj. Actually, I was like around 7 or 8 years old, and there was a home program in one of my friend's house. And for the first time in our entire life, my family was the first family to be there. So we were helping the host set up and everything. And I remember that at that time, I was like very, very consistent with like doing my rounds. And so I remember I was doing like 2 to 4 rounds, I think, per day. And I had forgotten that day, so I was just doing it really quickly before the program had started and before Maharaj started his lecture. And I was just walking around the perimeter of the house, and Maharaj was like, how old are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm 7 years old, Maharaj. And then I just like walk away quickly because I'm like, why is he talking to me? And then I come around back, and he's like, are you chanting? How many rounds do you chant? And I'm like, oh, Maharaj, I just do like 2 to 4 rounds per day. And then again, I quickly walk away, and I'm like, is he gonna ask more questions? Should I go back? But then slowly after, like, more families started coming in, and then the lecture started, and the first sentence that Maharaj said was, so there is someone present in the room here that has completely encouraged me, and I'm not gonna say her name, but it's amazing to see that the next generation can actually pick up on Krishna consciousness, and I'm really glad to see a prime example of that in this room. But I'm not gonna say her name. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, like no way he's talking about me. And then my mom pulls me over and she's like, I think he was talking about you. And it was crazy to see that, you know, like Maharaj has been such like a motivating figure for me. Like even before I knew him, like the first time I talked to him, it was amazing to see that he saw me as someone who motivated him, when it's actually like completely the other way. And I also remember like for those couple weeks that he was there, for all the home programs that he had about like 2 or 4 programs per week, so one Saturday, one Sunday, and Maharaj was very busy. And every single home program that I went to, that first line was always, there's someone in this room that has motivated me, but I'm not gonna say her name. And, but yeah, I just wanted to share that. And I just wanted to say thank you for being such a wonderful teacher, and thank you for guiding me. I know that a lot of environmental things can affect, like, especially like us as the youth, like they can affect where our minds go, like, you know, your peer pressure and all those things, but you really kept me grounded to Krishna consciousness and to ISKCON. and I'm really, really grateful for that. So
Thank you, Kripa. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh,
Happy
Hare-
Vyasa Puja.
oh, Hare Krishna.
Everybody has said so many beautiful things about you today, and I think one of the things that has really inspired me this year, and I've seen a lot, is I think this is the first year that I got to attend 2 of your initiation ceremonies, one here right in Dallas,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and the one in TSI for Manoharini and
Yes.
Rajagopi Saki. And I think just outside of, you also inspiring the youth with Krishna conscious activities, I feel this is the first time I've seen the youth gotten inspired to take the next step in their bhakti.
Yeah.
That's been very, very important and very, very dear to me. And it reminded me when you're not here in Dallas, I've been able to sort of get so much association from your disciples, Chaitya Guru, Narsingha Rupa, Kanchana Kunda. The apple doesn't far fall from the tree.
Yeah.
And they exhibit all your qualities of caring, service, and love for the youth here and bringing us together. And without your disciples here alongside you, I don't know where it'd be. And so really, really thank you for everything that you've done.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Oh, wow. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, so nice to see you. Happy Vyasa Puja. As everyone has said from the Dallas youth, I've had the pleasure of meeting Maharaj through TSI, and Maharaj has been that one Maharaj who's been like, come to my room whenever, as long as I'm not sleeping, but always come whatever question you have, please feel free to ask. And I think I've never been able to have that opportunity to go up to a Maharaj and have that relationship with them. So now that I'm here in Dallas, I'm very, very excited to serve you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Happy Vyasa Puja.
Thank you.
I just wanted to recall an experience I had from 9th grade with you. During that time, I was going through like some mental health issues, and my mother, she actually booked a slot with you to just like to go and talk to you about my problems. And like honestly, at first, I wasn't like too keen about it. I was pretty apprehensive because like I always put Maharajas on a pedestal. So I was wondering like how I could relate, how could a Maharaj relate to me, But I went and I talked to you, and the stuff that you said to me at the moment I didn't really understand it at first, but the more I went throughout high school and I experienced more, I realized a lot of the stuff you said really helped. It was in the back of my mind subconsciously, and it definitely helped. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I want to thank Happy Vyasa Puja. I want to thank you for being so engaging with the youth. As Mother Gopagita Mataji said, you're one of the only leaders that are so focused on helping the youth and grow. So I really thank you for that.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Oh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Breathe, breathe.
So Maharaj, I haven't had the opportunity to have a very personal connection with you yet. And the first time when my brother went on the weekend getaway trip, he told me the stories about what you guys did there. And I'd never heard of a Maharaj do that with all the youth together. And it was really interesting to me, and I was kind of bummed out that I missed out. But I was kind of just hoping that in the future, at least someday, I'd get to experience that too. And hearing all the cool stories about this cool Maharaj who everybody really loves and connects with so much made me really want to kind of have that too. And it's always so nice to see you around the Dallas temple. And even though I don't get to talk to you very much, it's always nice to have that beautiful, warm smile my way. And it just melts my heart. And I hope that at some point in the future, I do get to connect with you more. And I hope to have you there to hold your hand through this journey. So thank you, Maharaj. Happy Vyas Puja.
Thank you so much. Next time you walk by, just say hi. Just say hi. We'll have a conversation.
I will.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Happy birthday and happy Vyasa Puja. My name is Siddharth. I haven't had the opportunity to have your personal connection yet, but I really appreciate the time you took and really grateful to have you at TSI and the way you connect with all the youth. They mentioned that you had an open door policy, which I thought was really cool, and like the time you take to connect with each and every single one of the youth. You don't present Krishna consciousness as some high idealistic philosophy, but rather digestible for all the youth to practically follow. I'm really grateful for that. Hare Krishna Maharaj, I hope we can get personal association.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
There you go. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
My name is Kaushik. I recently got initiated.
Yes, yes.
Karunamaya Kodaraya. And I've been here in Dallas for the past decade or so. I never really got personal association with you as much as the other youth have gotten. But I just wanted to say that I've gotten a lot of association with the youth, Rupa Prabhu, and all your disciples. And I definitely I saw you through them. And without knowing it, their inspiration, you inspiring them inspired me to be a better devotee and get through the tough years of high school and college and keep up with my sadhana and eventually take initiation as well. So I'm back in Dallas, so hopefully in the future I get some personal association with you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hey, Hare Krishna.
Happy Vyas Puja.
Remember, I used to always go like this when you were little.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that we all really appreciate your presence in Dallas, and that, like, especially for the youth, you've been so, like, important to us. And, you know, all the fond memories of Camp Ignite and the summer trip and our lake house getaway that we had a while ago was like really important. And also, at least for my family, the time with Bridger in the hospital was, you really lightened the mood for everyone. So I really appreciate that. Happy Vyas Puja.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Happy Vyas Puja. My name is Mohit. I'm from Austin, and I went to TSI for the first time this year.
Nice.
In Austin and throughout most of my life, whenever it comes to Krishna consciousness, I never really had peers my age always around me. And it was a very unique experience coming to TSI and seeing all these kids my age and how they were interacting with Krishna consciousness. And something that really stuck out to me in your class was like the sheer importance that you put on association, the sheer importance TSI put on association. So I'm just very thankful for that, and happy Vyasa Puja.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, happy
Hare Krishna,
Vyasa Puja.
Priya.
I just wanted to thank you for the times you came to the Gurukul. I remember sitting in the small art classroom, which is now like a shed with 20, 30 other kids, and all listening to you, joking, and like Reggie said, trying to have us spell your name and joking with us, and I really appreciate that. And I remember in 2019, you tried to encourage me to go to the bus tour, but I didn't feel ready, and then you encouraged me again this year, and I went, and it was such a nice experience to meet so many other young boys and get to travel around and see all the temples. I wanted to thank you for that. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Priya. Ananjay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. My name is Ananjay. I'm new to community. But I've never felt nervous to ever speak like in public, except right now, if I'm being honest. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm talking to you, Maharaj, because I see you basically like as God, if I'm being honest, and you know this. So, I don't know, for me this is kind of hard. But Maharaj, you've always been there my whole life. You're like that fun uncle that's always been there. You know this. From a very small kid and knowing every single Prabhuji and every single Mataji and picking fights with the girls that are in this temple today, just doing the most stupid stuff that you can think of. And you were just always there, just like almost leading me on and pushing me like, yeah, keep doing it, keep doing it. You were always that fun uncle when I was younger. And then I got to my teenage years, like 13, 14, 15. You started connecting with me more, and we got to have more like serious discussions. And that's kind of where I kind of stopped seeing you as like that fun uncle and almost like a mentor. And then I went through a period of time, which I think a lot of people have, being born in the movement, 16, 17, 18, where you're basically like, no, I'm done, you know? Like me personally, I had the burnout. And one thing I always realized during that whole process of me just like not wanting to do anything like spiritual, basically avoiding it completely, putting it on everyone else, just not taking like responsibility. You were always there, like at least once in a month, coming into like the messages. Like I'll wake up at like 12 one morning and I see a message, it's like an emoji, like one of those animal emojis from you. Or like a chanting bag emoji. And then at one point in our last discussion, you always used to say like, read 2 pages of Bhagavad Gita a day. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So
if you read Bhagavad 2 pages, you read the whole Gita every year.
Yeah. Which is incredible because I can barely still chant like 2 rounds. So, but generally, like the one thing I've always appreciated about you is because of you, I was always able to open up freely to people. Because I realize if Marge doesn't judge me, and Marge is like that, you know, like that position. If you don't judge me, then why should I be worried about anyone else's judgment, you know? So that's something that's always been instilled in me, and I like really love you for it. And at the end of the day, like I think this applies to everyone here. You've helped us so much in our lives that I feel like the accomplishments, anything that all of us do, that all go to you. Your legacy, like you yourself, Maharaj, like even if you say like, I know like you don't initiate people, like, you know, you have your family, but for us youth, at least I can speak for Dallas and Houston for sure, you're our like family. And anything we accomplish as a group, individually, it's offered to you. I think I can say that pretty confidently for the rest of the youth here. Hare Krishna.
We're running over time, but there's 2 young ladies and 1 young gentleman that were super enthusiastic. So
Yeah.
Please come.
Raja.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, happy Raspuja, happy birthday. I really like how you always make jokes and always funny. I remember when I and Gorang were 3 or 4, we used to come to the temple and after school and to take darshan in the temple, and we saw you. We used to ask you for some sweets. I really love you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, happy birthday, happy Vyas Puja. I really appreciate how you used to tell jokes and spend time with me and my friends. I remember that when I was younger, like, when I was younger, you used to come to the school and tell us jokes and riddles, and like we had to answer them, and like you've always been like funny, Maharaj, like come to the school and made us laugh. I also remember that after school last year when we used to play like after school, you would come and just say Hare Krishna or Hari Bol and tell us riddles. Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hey, Vajraraj. I can't see you, Vajraraj. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj,
Hare Krishna.
happy birthday and happy Vyasa Puja. I really like you because you are kind and funny. Thank you for letting me see you whenever I want. And thank you for giving me lessons.
Thank you, Vajraraj. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj will now cut to Zoom.
Okay.
We've got a few devotees who want to say something on Zoom.
Sure. Oh, I hope Vajraraj.
We have Gokul Raj right now managing the Zoom, so.
Oh, you understand. Hare Krishna.
One moment, Yiddish Prabhu. We're just fixing the sound.
He's talking and we can't hear. He should know that. We can't hear. It's not working yet.
The connection is muted. I can hear you. I'm not hearing it. So I'll get maybe wait until I get the
You can try now.
Okay, I'll stand by.
Well, it's coming. I think it's delayed. It was working before. What happened?
Gopal Rajpuru, you can hear me, but they can't. Is that what's going on? Yes. I'm assuming it's because the TV or whatever monitor you're using is different. We'll see.
Go ahead, Yiddish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Oh. Now it's good? Can anyone in the temple room hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Jai Maharajas, please accept my humble obeisances and words to all the assembled devotees. Sorry that my health is not allowing me to be there in person, but I just want to shortly say that arguably, love is the barometer. How much we love and how much we are loved is the barometer to pleasing our guru and ultimately the disciplic succession in Prabhupada. And Ritavaji Maharaj, if that barometer holds true as the standard, it would be very difficult to find someone who is more broadly loved and gives love than yourself. And your friendship to so many and inspiration to so many for being real. That sannyasi who is just a human being who likes to wear orange has touched our hearts for many years. And we all know from Srila Prabhupada that the goal for the representative of the guru, the disciple, whether an initiating guru, all of us are teachers on some level, no matter who we are, and to be a transparent via medium and a friend to all and a humble service attitude and a perfect gentleman who is both thoughtful and mindful in all dealings. This is you, Maharaj, and I've heard you express concern about, not doing enough, not doing enough service. It's easy to compare, but the heart is ultimately the barometer. And I just wanted to share that you're loved by so many, and I'm among them. Thank you for being in our lives. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Yudhisthira.
You can share.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Rita Swami, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to you. And my respects and obeisances to all the devotees online and in person. So I was thinking of you this morning, and I was thinking of, when I think of you, I think of Japa heaven. And of course, I think of the now famous title of I wear saffron, but I'm a human. But I was also thinking of a story that Rukmini tells about Srila Prabhupada, and that really reminds me of you. And it's a story about Prabhupada and his disciple. And the disciple was glorifying Srila Prabhupada for all the places that Prabhupada has traveled all over the world to give Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada said, but you will go where I have not gone, or where I cannot go. And the disciple was a little taken aback and said, but Prabhupada, where can you not go? And then Prabhupada said, I can't go to the future, but you will go to the future. And how you treat people, Prabhupada said, how you take care of people in the future is how they will know Krishna loves them. So this story reminds me of you, because how you treat us and how we see you treating so many devotees and everyone you meet is how we know Krishna loves them. So thank you so much for being your wonderful self. I'm so grateful that you're in my life and have inspired me and continue to inspire me in so many ways. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Oh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhuve vichapatitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So Maharaj, I'm going to talk about hot puris with honey and butter. But at a little more deeper level than just the ghee that it's cooked in. That for me, and we probably haven't talked about that. We've always talked about that Christmas marathon or Prabhupada marathon when we were together in Orlando and you were cooking for us. We were brahmacharis. We would come back from Sankrathon and have hot puris and butter and ghee. But that was, a lot of people have been talking about difficult times in their life. That was a difficult time in my life. I had kind of had two gurus that had left Krishna consciousness at that time. And the mood kind of, in the 80s at that time was kind of harsh and I'll just use that word, harsh. And so being with you those couple of weeks gave me a whole different perspective on how devotees more senior to me and senior devotees, sannyasis, could be. And it really, in some ways, because I was thinking of so many things after the marathon. Should I go back to school? Should I just, leave the ashram and get a job? Should I? Because it just kind of seemed like, well, what's the use? After having two gurus that had left. But then after spending that time with you and seeing that friendship and camaraderie that you created, it probably kept me going for like 2 more years until I went to Vrindavan and met Burijan Prabhu, and kind of the rest was history in one sense. So that was so important to my spiritual life. I was reflecting on it today, that time that we spent together, and the way you made it so much fun for us brahmacharis, and also at the same time, showed so much kindness and friendship. And we've been hearing all about, the care that you offer devotees. Well, I just made a short list, but I'm sure it's like double this. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Gunagrai Maharaj, Raman Brinda's Kalindi Vilasini, Ananda Kishori, BT's wife Bhakti, Madhuri Radha's father, and I'm sure the list goes on and on and on. That way that you care, and for me, it's really inspiring, because it's care for individuals. And sometimes I get anxious, like, well, I'm not meeting enough people, I'm not making enough devotees. And when I think of your example, I just think, well, no, what about the person who's right in front of me right now? Why can't I just be kind to them and encouraging to them? And that's what Ritavaja Maharaj is like. And whenever I talk to Gurijan Prabhu about you, he's always saying, oh, he's so pure and he's so unpretentious. Those are the two words that he always uses. I'm also really grateful for this little nexus that we have with Brahmatirtha Prabhu and Henry and myself, and now also Gokul Raj and Jai Gopali, although they're disciples, but still, this, and my wife, this little kind of connection. And when I would talk to BT, I missed, I don't know if BT spoke, I assume he did. I missed it because I was giving a class, but he was saying, well, should we do a roast or should we do an appreciation? But because of that friendship, and you've really, for me, been such an example of what friendships in Krishna consciousness are like. And I think your influence, you have a big influence on the very close friendship that I have with Brahmatirtha Prabhu. And finally, I just want to say, as a parent, you're always happy when your children, or in this case, child, children in one sense, because Jai Gopali, make good decisions. And I just remember how over the top blissful I was when, at that time, Gopinath said that he was going to ask you for initiation. I said, the best choice possible. And I was just so happy. Again, because so much friendship, so much trust is there, and then just to have that connection with now Gokul Raj and Jai Gopali, it's just like, Krishna conscious seven heavens. So thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, B.A. Ashram Swami, Hare Krishna, Giriraj Swami, and Hare Krishna, David Tadvija Swami. Please, please, please accept my humble obeisances, and all glories to our dear Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to you, my spiritual guide, teacher, and father. I've actually really struggled to write this Vyasa Puja offering, and I actually left it to the last minute. I kept saying every day, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And then the deadline came and I was writing it that morning whilst all of you were asleep. And I've really struggled because I have found it enormously difficult to articulate how I feel in words. But I will attempt to express my heart to you in this little offering. So here it goes. This past year, Maharaj, you were unlimitedly merciful to me. Despite my shortcomings and my flaws, you accepted me as your disciple and connected me to the sacred lineage. I feel wholly undeserving, yet my heart feels safe knowing that I am connected to you. When I think of who inspires me to chant every single day, it's you. When I think of who inspires me to care for others, it's you. When I think of who inspires me to be a better human being, it's you. When I think of who has helped me through some of my darkest days, it's you. When I think of who makes me want to develop a relationship with Krishna, it's you. You are the motivator behind my actions, and I am so unbelievably grateful for you. Ritadvija Swami, thank you for showing me what it means to care for others. So many of us talk about devotee care, but as you once said, you just do it. You have an out-of-this-world ability to care for others. I've seen care like no other. When I watch you care for others, you are so selfless and only think of the needs of others and what would make that other person feel better and how you can best support them. What is so incredible listening to today's offerings is that we are all connected to each other through your care. I feel as though I have gained so many family members in this one evening just through your care. We have all, each of us in this room, have had an experience of a crisis that you have come to rescue us. You've come to guide us through it personally. I cannot believe that I get to experience such genuine and sweet care in this lifetime, and I feel wholly indebted to you. There were a few things I wanted to say to you on our initiation day, but I got completely swept away with emotion, and all rational thought left my brain that day. But I wanted to tell you that for so long in my life, my relationship with Krishna, my sadhana, and my spiritual life were always so up and down. It was never steady, and it was always erratic. Sometimes I was chanting 16 rounds, and sometimes I was chanting none. When I met you, my spiritual life finally became steadier and pleasing. You had such a profound impact on my sadhana. Chanting 16 rounds finally became enjoyable, which was something I never thought would ever happen. My drive to weed out my undesirable qualities from my heart has become stronger. And more importantly, my devotional life has become infinitely more enjoyable with you guiding me. So thank you. Thank you for teaching me how to love Krishna more. Thank you for teaching me how to serve the Vaishnavas more. And thank you for getting me to chant japa every single day. And thank you for the best God family in all of the worlds. I love them very much. I'm so happy and so unbelievably grateful to be your disciple. I'm praying with all my heart that I can be in your service eternally. With all my utmost gratitude, your small British disciple, whose accent is sometimes confusing. Jai Gopali Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna. Oh, sorry.
I think I'm next. Where's the...
Raja Bihari's son.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. And sorry, Maharajas. 1 second, I'm trying to pull up my writing. Dear Guru Maharaj, surrounding you constantly are calamities, difficulties of the material world, people's hurt and pain, tense situations, deep sadness and profound loss, confusion and concern, a thunderstorm of suffering that is menacing and kicking up dust just around the corner. But there you are, on that corner, calmly and patiently guiding us towards shelter and away from the storm. Your kindness reminds me that I'm not alone and I am loved. Your presence reminds me that I'm important and have purpose. Your heart of compassion reminds me of Krishna's love, infinitely available. And your warmth reminds me to always seek the shelter, protection, and safety of the Vaishnavas. Thank you for teaching by your example and so openly sharing stories of your journey with each of us. Each story you share holds a special lesson to me. From your stories, I've learned how to love, how to serve, how to give generously, and how to always seek the adventure in Krishna's service. It is those stories that are my compass, my guide, and my shelter. When lost, I ask myself, what would Maharaj do in this situation? And this simple question guides me back to the path of love, care, and kindness. So today, I pray that I can do the internal work, transform my heart, push back on the oversimplified excuses my mind constantly tries to distract me with, and surrender to you. I wish to remain in your service, under your shelter. No matter how hard the storm rages outside, I feel safe when I'm with you. Thank you, Maharaj. Your servant, Gokul Raj Das.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you. Happy 70th Vyasa Puja and birthday. Like many of the people here, I can't thank you enough for the gift of spiritual life and an eternal, sweet spiritual family you've given to me. Inspired by the words of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, His Holiness Chandamali Swami, your comments about being pleased with my writing, and your famous quote, "I'm just a human wearing saffron," that we've heard a couple times this afternoon, I would like to share a small offering and attempt to express my gratitude for you. Dear Guru Maharaj, I thank you for allowing me to hold on to more than just my attachment and misery, to instead grasp with all my might, saving my life, your saffron devotee. To me, your profound insights made all the sense in the universe. You've kept my lamp burning and drove away the darkness that permeates this age. I found bliss under your wing, serving and learning. Dear Guru Maharaj, on this journey, you've allowed me to be a child, unintelligent, dependent, and surrendered to her father. My role as a daughter has gained new meaning as I learn to be a servant, although I'm often more of a bother. I guess this is what they call causeless mercy. This distant idea came alive from the poems of sages that I adored as a child and later graced my life through you. The pure devotee's mercy has come and rescued me after ages. Dear Guru Maharaj, if I can humbly request that when you return home and I'm left crying here incessantly, that you strengthen my grip, my hold never slackens, and to the feet of Sri Sri Radha Madhava you pull me. Maharaj, I thank you for saving my life. All I want now is to never let go of your saffron devotee, your humble servant, Rajagopi Vishaka.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you, all glories to all the Maharajas. I did write an offering, but I think I'm just going to speak from my heart because I don't think I'll be able to do it for some reason. But I remember when I first met you at TSI retreat in TSI Baltimore back in 2017, and I did not really know you very well, but then I really got to know you and how much love you have for the youth, as was mentioned many times today at TSI in New Jersey. And I remember when I went home after the retreat ended, that's when I told my parents I definitely found my spiritual master. And I just wanted to thank you so much. And I'm eternally, eternally grateful that you've accepted me as your disciple with all of my flaws and miseries that I have. But I am just eternally grateful to be your disciple, and thank you for giving me such a wonderful, loving God family. Happy Vyasa Puja, happy 70th birthday. Your humble fallen servant, Manoharini Vindadevi Das.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna, all the Maharajas there. I've been thinking about what I wanted to say all morning. And of course, my puppy is going to decide to start barking now. Hold on a second. Ronnie! Maharaj has met my puppy many, many times. The first time I met you was like 20 years ago, right after my spiritual master, Tamal Krishna Goswami, passed away. And up until that point, Gurudev was the only sannyasi that I'd had and guru that I'd had contact with, like on that kind of level. So I was completely blown away that when I first met you, you were so laid back. And we chatted for like 5 hours. And during that time, you learned a lot about my life. And then you advised me to get in touch with a disciple or a daughter of a disciple of yours, Devika. And we've been really close friends since then. So I appreciate that introduction that you've made that day. I got the pleasure to attend your 50th Vyasa Puja that year, and then 60th last year. And so this year, I was really bummed when I woke up this morning with a sore throat and cough. And I was like, how could I possibly miss your 70th, you know? Like, so I'm really thankful for Zoom technology because of the pandemic, we're so used to using the Zoom technology that I can still attend and give you an offering today. And speaking of the pandemic, these last 2 years have been absolutely amazing having you here in Dallas. I think those early days of the pandemic are probably some of my favorite memories of my life, where me, you, Lavanga, and maybe sometimes Guru Vidwaja, we'd go for our daily walks and be able to like chant, where Lavanga and I would, you know, try to change the world in our discussions, and you would just kind of sigh at us and walk ahead and chant your rounds. It's such lovely memories. It really carried me through the pandemic. So many people ask me, like, how did I manage, because I live by myself? And I was like, I never felt alone, not even for a minute during the pandemic, because you were there. We managed to continue our Ekadasi lunches. And I'm always tickled whenever you would say, okay, Jayshree, you let me know when you're leaving, because I'll leave, knowing that I'm always the one that's late. And I say I'm going to be there in 5 minutes, and you're like, is that Jayshree time, or is that like real time? And I'm like, probably Jayshree time, which means it's probably 15, 20 minutes, not 5 minutes. So you've gotten me into the habit of not texting. I'm on my way until I'm actually in my car. You've also gotten me into the habit of making sure that I do my dishes. I know that sometimes we talked about this, like my dishes will pile up and I'll complain about, man, I gotta do my dishes. And you're like, just do them. Like, so you got me into the habit of doing them like before I go to bed, making sure the sink is clean. Sometimes I don't want to do it. I'm like, oh, come on, Rithad Vijamara, just like challenge you to do this, just do it. It'd be easier than letting it pile up. And this is just examples of the practical practical things that you teach us. Like, you definitely are there for my spiritual well-being and progress in so many ways. Like, you know, I think you probably know more about me than any other person on this earth. I've shared so much with you, and I just don't know where I would be in my Krishna consciousness without you. I could say so many things, but I think one of the things that I just want to end with is that when you first started traveling earlier this year, it was like there's a part of my heart that kind of sunk, because it really signified the end of this era of having you here all to ourselves in Dallas for the last 2 years. And it was kind of like the official end of lockdown for me, because you weren't going anywhere until this pandemic was over, or safer to travel. And that was it. And I was like, wow, this is it. This is the end of this era of those daily japa walks, those, you know, the regular Ekadasi lunch gatherings at Lavanga's. But I'm forever grateful, and I'll cherish these memories, and, you know, like, they'll probably take me through to the rest of my life. And I'm hoping that we get to have so many more memories whenever you come back to Dallas throughout your travels. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Is anybody else on the Zoom? Okay, that's fine. Whatever he wants to do. Yes.
so much. Please accept my humble obeisances, all the great Vaishnavas here. Half the room cleared out because I got to talk. Anyway, I've developed a relationship with Maharaj. Maybe he don't know, but it's in my heart that I'm very, very, very fond of. Because when my spiritual master, Tamal Krishna Goswami, was diagnosed with prostate cancer, Gurudev called in the best to take care of him. And at that time, I was his personal servant. So he personally told me, he says, Arjun Krishna, I want you to sit back and let these other devotees take care of me. So I thought this was a great idea because then I could relax a little bit. He says, no, you still come up every morning, but let them do the service. So he called in Ritatvaja Maharaj and so many of his disciples that are doctors, the best. And I really didn't realize how caring and loving and patient that Ritatvaja Maharaj is until I witnessed it firsthand. He took care of my Gurudev the best. And for that, I'm eternally indebted forever. So happy to have you here as a base sannyasi. So easy to talk to. Always funny. Always laughing. Always in a good mood. And he calls me AK-47. He says, but I could only call you that in Texas because everywhere else in the country banned AK-47s. He just told me that the other day. We used to chant japa together for a little while. We had a japa thing going on until pandemic came along. And anyway, I just have so much admiration for you, Maharaj, and respect. And thank you for taking care of my Gurudev. And again, if there's anything I could ever do for you, I'm your man. Jai, Hare Krishna.
Happy Vyasa Puja Maharaj. I don't really know where to start, but I mean, I can feel it in my heart. I can just think of the earliest memories I have, probably from when I was like 2 or 3. And me and my sister would be running around, and we always knew you as the Maharaj that would tell us that you were going to throw us in the trash. And the garbage can. And I actually knew, I guess you were the first Maharaj that I actually interacted with in my life. I mean, I knew Tamal Krishna Goswami was, the community Maharaj, but as far as my interaction, it was you. And with you saying that, I guess you never, I'll explain it, but you never threw me in the garbage can. And as far as when I'm going through ever a crisis in my life, or I want to make a big decision, it always culminates in, let me go meet Maharaj. And that's just something I was reflecting on earlier. So, I mean, it really says a lot to how much care and love that you showed to everybody. And there are a few other things I wanted to say. Your compassion. I think you've seen me in so many different faces, so many different phases, and you've never looked at me any different. So, thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj's basic accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Shri Prabhupada, all glories to you, and all glories to everyone assembled here today on this auspicious day. I just have two stories to say. So the first story is when I got to learn more about you, which was from Vedasara Prabhu. I think he left. But I was in Houston one time, and I remember Vedasara Prabhu was talking to either Haridas or Rupa. He was just telling him that how you just randomly called him up and said, hey, have you done your chanting? Have you done your rounds? And to me, when I heard that, I was like, wow, you know, Maharaj is asking to, like, have you done your rounds on a personal level? Like, have you done it? And I would have never imagined that. Usually in my understanding back then was that, okay, you know, you have to make appointments to talk to someone. But, like, it was just amazing to hear that. And that day I realized, okay, I definitely want to be initiated by someone who is very personal, who wants to know if I've done my rounds, and that encourages me more to do my rounds even more. And little small things like that, like Giriraj Maharaj, sometimes on Facebook, he'll like say happy birthday, and I would just be like, wow, you know, like Giriraj Maharaj said happy birthday. And it just makes you feel so much more like personal, and I know he means it with the whole heart. Because nowadays it's like happy birthday to everyone. It's like, oh, just happy birthday. But when Maharaj says, it's like, oh, it's special. There's something there. And another story that I had was that remember I organized a group meeting with you, with the boys, with the youth, and ultimately, literally, no one showed up. And it was, and I'm here thinking, oh, you know, I told Maharaj this, and no one showed up. Like, how can this be even possible? Like, how do you guys do that? And Maharaj is just here casually just talking to me saying, yeah, just make sure, let them know I'm mad at them. And I'm like, okay, but I'm still confused. Like, what was even more amazing is that you continued talking to me even though you could have just said, okay, cool, you know, no meeting, nothing. And it was just so amazing to just be able to speak with you. And I could tell you wanted me to open up. And I was just overwhelmed. And more importantly, what's even more amazing is the fact that you text us. Like, when we text you back, you text us back. It's not even just like a one way and then like, oh, I don't care about this guy. It's more like you text us back, and we feel so like, I don't know about everyone else, but I personally, I'm like, oh, you know, like, Raj Maharaj, you know, he texted me back, you know, me, Jishnu, like, it was so insignificant. And so this is this is one thing that touched me, and I was like, okay, you know, so that means that, you know, there's other, you know, Guru Maharajas out there that are willing to, you know, like, have that personal association with you, which I definitely very much hanker for. And I pray that one day, you know, you will call me up and be like, hey, have you done your rounds today? That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, yes. Yes, Maharaj. We'll just chant while Maharaj is gone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I wasn't planning on speaking. I don't normally speak, so I'm a bit caught off guard. So I'll just say, thank you for always being a pillar in my life. And, when my dad passed away, you were there. When my spiritual father passed away, you were there. So at all the integral moments in my life, you've always been there. And I know often when you speak about, Gunagai Maharaj and his passing, you talk about how, sannyasis don't normally say, I love you. So you came up with the loophole of saying, we love you. So from my side, I'd like just to say that I love you, and I hope to be of service at any point you need. We're here for you. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now we'll hear from His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj, and then after that it'll be followed by His Holiness Ritavaja Swami.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I think of one time when we were at the chiropractor's office waiting to be seen. And we were talking about if we were to die, what regrets we would have. And you said, or we both agreed, that one regret would be not having spent enough time with our dear God brothers. And it's been wonderful to be able to spend as much time with you as I have, and I look forward to spending more time with you. And we also discussed the idea of coming back again, taking birth again. And you said that, as long as you have the association of your dear God brothers, you wouldn't mind coming back again. And you said you put a lot of effort into cultivating those relationships with your God brothers. So, hearing the extent to which you have touched people's lives, I think of it, I guess, a description of the universal form in the Bhagavad Gita, that everywhere are his hands and legs, everywhere are his faces and mouths. And you really are, we've heard and read that the spiritual masters, the external representation of the super soul, but you really are like the super soul. You know everyone's heart, and as others have said, you meet them where they are and help them along to where they should be. And I've said it to you many times in our personal exchanges. This will probably be the first time I'm saying it in public, but you're one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I pray that we'll serve together life after life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Gyantamananda Shajananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunaminitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvasesa Sunyavadi Pasachade. So Vyas Puja, as was described by Ashram Maharaj, is, and others, is that this is a day that we celebrate Vyasa Day. And it's hard to imagine, it's hard for me to imagine, how we ended up in a position that we are right now. But we talk about causeless mercy. Causeless mercy of the disciplic succession, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And somehow or another, we ended up in this association, somehow or another. Something's wrong with my ear, it's plugged. That won't come out. Having all these Vyas Pujas, the different disciples of Srila Prabhupada, is actually a glorification of His divine grace. To have disciples who are willing to take on that service. I can say that most of us would feel unqualified, if not all, would feel the disqualification for this position. But the need to accept that position. As Brahmatirtha said in his little talk, that I was authorized in 1985 or 86 at the New Vrindavan meeting. Was that 86, 85? 85. In those days, at that time, kind of like a real ruffle in our society. And you needed 3 signatures of a temple president or a GBC to be authorized as a guru. And I remember Hridayananda Maharaj handing me a piece of paper saying, now you can initiate. It had his signature and 2 temple presidents from our zone. But 11 or 12 years later, I took 1 or 2. That I had known. One of them I had sold a set of books to in 1977 in the fall, or 76, I can't remember. And the other had met Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada had told him through letter, a group letter, to always distribute Prabhupada's books in some form or another. And I said yes. And it's okay. It's okay to feel unqualified. It's okay to just continue on where we're at, or be who we are, and share Srila Prabhupada's knowledge, or the knowledge of the Vedas. You all know the story of me and Tamal Krishna sitting at the dining table, and him throwing what somebody said was dokla at the cook, and saying, this is not dokla. You can't call it, you can call this something else. You can't call it dokla because he didn't consider it made properly. He threw it at the cook. And he said it very strongly. And at that point, I said to him, I probably had 4 disciples by then. And I said, I don't think I should do this. He said, what? I don't think I can be a guru. What are you talking about? I said, I just can't chastise anybody like that. I said, I can't be, I just don't have that heaviness. Maybe guru means heavy, maybe I'm not guru. He just went, you be a guru like you are, and I'll be a guru like I am. Don't worry about it. And so what you heard today from all the assembled devotees is the type of person I am. I like it. It's okay when somebody says something that you've done for them, rather than that somebody says that something that I really haven't done for them, but they're just imagining that I've done it for them. Like I descended from the spiritual world just to come down to save somebody and stuff like that. I was a wandering soul, and I bumped into Krishna. I wasn't a searching soul, I was a wandering soul that either bumped into Krishna or Krishna bumped into me. And somehow or another, that bumping led to me practically immediately joining the Hare Krishna movement. I mean, practically speaking, when I read 2 or 3 sentences in one of Prabhupada's books, and I knew I was done. And about 3 years later, 3 or 4 months later, I was living in the temple, disconnecting myself from my material affairs. And so the potency of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's books are alive and well. And I just hope to continue my spiritual journey with all of you, and somehow or other continue to render the service that I'm able to do. I don't know how many times we've had a conversation on what do we do as modern day spiritual masters. Practically we touch on almost every other conversation at least. Because we really want to do it right. We don't want to make any mistakes. The error is human. And as I say, I'm a human that wears saffron. But by good association, we can overcome the little mistakes that we make and accomplish something wonderful. And I'm just happy, or I would say spiritually satisfied, that the youth have found some quality in me which allowed them to have faith that they could come to me under any and every circumstance in a confidential way. I can't remember who it was said that you know me more than I've told you more things than I've told my mother and father. And so the confidentiality is there. I think that was Shri, right? Yeah, Shri. Beautiful girl. And so this is the type of satisfaction that, Vyas Puja, you can ask my disciples how mental I get about sitting on the chair and having flowers and all the ornaments that go along with being a guru. And I was talking to His Holiness Giridhari Maharaj, and he says, it's just your service. He didn't say shut up. He said, just don't worry about it. He may have said shut up. So this is a service we perform, and we're happy and we're spiritually satisfied that we have given some of you all a touch of Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Srila Prabhupada's mercy is all that I'm made of and all that we're all made of. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much. So now we'll have Guru Puja. If we could ask everybody to please stand up and come closer, we're going to move the Vyasa-san to here where the chairs are, and we will start shortly. Jaya Ritatvaja Swami Maharaja, Jaya Ritatvaja Swami Maharaja. Jaya Ritatvaja Swami Maharaja, Jaya Ritatvaja Swami Maharaja. Jaya Rita Twaja Swami Maharaja. Jaya Rita Twaja Swami Maharaja. Samsara dava nalalidha loka tranaya karunya ghana ghana tvam. Nalalidha loka Saradava nalalidha loka tranaya karunya ghana ghana tvam. Tranaya karunya Praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita Varitra Majan Manasora Sena. Romanchakampa Shutaranga Bajo Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Shri Vigrahara Dhananrityananam Shringaratanman Diramarjanadho. Yuktasya bhaktam sharyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavad Prashadho Sadhvana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangham. Kritvaiva triptim bhajato sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Radhika Madhavayorapara Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namna Pratishanashvadhana lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Nikunjayuno rati kelise dhyay Yayali bhiyuktirapekshaniya Tatrati dakshan ativalabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Bolo Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Hey Bolo Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shakshadaritrena nasamasa shastre Yukta sata bhavyata eva sadbir Kintu prabhuya priya eva tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Vande Guru
Shri Charanaravindam. Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Yasya prasadan Bhagavat prasado. Yasya prasadan nagade kutopi. Dhyayam stuvam stasya yashastre sandhyam. Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda. Vande Guru Shri Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Nalalidaloka Tranaya Karunya Gana Gana Tvam. Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya. Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Jaya Rita Twaja Swami Maharaja. 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jagat Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Ritatwaja Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine. Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadhi Pashatyate Shatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Shri Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna. Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo.
Jai Prabhupada, we'll all go to Prabhupada's house and make it 4 or 5 times.
Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo.
Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pribhajaka Charja Astotara Satashi Shiman. His Divine Grace Srilasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Himse Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Maya Purnavadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yagna Ki Jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hari 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 Bo.
Then I want to thank Mother Devi Radha for the wonderful cake she made for Maharaj. Sing all together?
Yes. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna, dear Maharaja. Hare Krishna to you. Patarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavenebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namaha. Jai Jai Srila Ritadhwaja Swami Maharaj ki
Oh, does anybody take a picture?
Please take pictures right now before the van gets destroyed.
I'm not going to cut it here. It'll make a little bit of a mess in the temple when people.
Okay, just come right over.
Thank you. Thank you.
They spelled my name wrong.
Did they?
Yeah.
RT.
There's no A after the T. Get a compass.
Something that I text to it on purpose, just to
Get
she
it
would
right
have it.
there and then. Only you guys.
Other people want to take a picture of the cake, make room for everybody to come forward that wants to make a picture.
Yeah, those who have taken the pictures, please move back so others can come and also take it. Thank you very much.
It's like a month and a half ago, you rode 2 or 3 inches.
No, no. Make it nice. We'll take it downstairs. Or outside.
No, not outside. Not again.
Okay, those standing around, please make room for those at the back. Move away so others can come from the back and see it also. After you've had darshan of the cake, move out so others can have darshan, please. And if you're all done, you can please go outside and take some prasadam, please. Please enjoy prasadam. Sorry?
What do you want me to do with the camera?
Or just give it to whoever it was supposed to get it to. Where'd the camera come from? Is that your father's camera?
I don't think, no, not actually going to cut it, no.
No. It's going outside for cutting.
Wait, should I take this outside?
Yeah, take it outside so that you can take more photographs outside. No, finish.
So we can stop it?
Yeah.